Baghdad by rail, the route of the Kaiser's pre-war ambition of extending German influence into the Middle East, via Austria, the Balkans, Turkey. It cuts across another vital route, the Mediterranean link between Russia and her allies, France and Britain. Cuts it at the narrow Dardanelles, guarded by the Turkish peninsula of Gallipoli, and beyond it by Constantinople. Constantinople, romantic place name, decadent capital. The Ottoman dynasty of Turkey is on the decline. The elderly Sultan Muhammad V clings to an empire undermined by corruption and diminished by decades of nationalist revolutions. Real power is wielded by a 33-year-old dictator, Enver Pasha, hero of the Young Turk movement. Surrounding him, a coterie of German military advisors, headed by General Liman von Sonders. Turkish military power will soon be committed to the war on the German side. On October 29, 1914, flying the Turkish flag, two German cruisers, Goeben and Breslau, steam out of Constantinople into the Black Sea to bombard Russian ports. With this act, Turkey has slammed the Dardanelles shut on Russia, and the Western Allies will be lured toward Gallipoli. In March 1915, an Allied armada steams east through the Mediterranean, inspired by a Russian appeal and by a mission that is more romance than strategy. Capture Constantinople. Open a new front. They have no plan except to blast their way through the Dardanelles, past the Turkish ports on Gallipoli, the same ports they bombarded a month before. It is almost clear sailing. The ports are low on ammunition, but the Allies allow themselves to be stopped by a Turkish minefield. 3 ships sink, and the order is given to withdraw. The explosions echo in London, in an outburst of argument at the highest levels of government. First Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill, captivated by the prospect of a second front, is determined that the Dardanelles should be the target. Futile without soldiers, says First Sea Lord John Fisher, Churchill's outspoken confidant and reluctant ally in the venture. The War Minister, old hero Lord Kitchener, is uneasy at first about diverting troops from the Western Front, but now takes up the cause of Gallipoli. The British War Council, headed by Prime Minister Herbert Asquith, is finally persuaded to endorse a new and grander enterprise. Combined operations, troops and fleet. The Allies begin to organize an amphibious assault against Constantinople by way of Gallipoli. Reconnaissance. From Allied ships and island bases in the eastern Mediterranean, a crude aerial survey is launched over a hostile peninsula. Rugged, trackless, unfamiliar. This sketchy intelligence is backed up by little but travelers' guidebooks, bought in the bazaars of Egypt, where the force is assembled. The Anzac Corps, Australians and New Zealanders. 2 British divisions. A division of French. Raw troops bolstered by a peculiar exultation. A sense of unique adventure. Gallipoli fever. Gallipoli fever, fed by schoolboy memories, the Dardanelles, the Hellespont of Greek mythology near the site of ancient Troy. Oh God, I have never been quite so happy. I suddenly realized that the ambition of my life has been to go on a military expedition against Constantinople. The author of those words is Rupert Brooke, England's young poet-soldier. The dream will end unfulfilled on a Mediterranean island where Brooke dies of blood poisoning while the expedition is still in rehearsal. French units practiced their role in the D-Day plan, a commando raid against the Asian mainland, a bluff to divert attention from the main attack against Gallipoli. Three urgent weeks of preparation, and the expedition assembles at the jump-off points, the island bases in the Mediterranean. It is a venture remarkable for its vast scale, its ambitious aims, its innocence. A flotilla of 200 ships, loading 75,000 troops, 1,600 horses and mules, tons of arms and supplies, all headed toward a target of unknown hazards. By the evening of April 24th, 1915, the entire invasion force is underway. Its British command troubled by doubts, knowing that the enemy is prepared for them. The fleet commander, Vice Admiral Sir John de Roebeck. In overall charge, General Sir Ian Hamilton, poet-philosopher, old comrade of Lord Kitchener. Directing his assault forces are two Empire generals, Sir Aylmer Hunter Weston commanding the British, Sir William Birdwood heading the Anzac troops. The plan is complex. Two mock attacks, the French raid on the Asian shore and another far to the north. The two real blows will fall in a five-pronged landing by the British on the tip of Gallipoli, and another 13 miles up the coast by the Anzacs. Winston Churchill will later write, "To land a large army in the face of a carefully prepared defense and modern weapons was to attempt what had never yet been dared, and what might well prove impossible.